Podcast, WATP.
Now, if you remember on the last episode, we played where Anthony Cumia was on with Pat Dixon, and they were talking about Steel Toe and how the guy's like the next stuttering John, and he's a loser. And so Aaron decided to come back and respond to Anthony Cumia. Now, as we know, Aaron loves Anthony Cumia. It's his idol. It's who he's based his entire career on. The fact that he goes on with all the movie references and the impressions and the way he talks.
When I heard Anthony make his comments about Aaron not remembering him and all that stuff.
Yes, he thought it was Rob Saul.
All I could imagine was that scene on the episode of South Park, Scott Tenorman Must Die. When, who was the band?
It was Radiohead. Yeah.
Radiohead shows like, look at this loser. This guy's a real loser. Look at this crybaby loser.
He's like, those are my heroes.
Come on, heroes, man. What the fuck?
It's great. So let's see Aaron's response now to Anthony.
He knows that I attract numbers. And when you're in compound censored, you're in a bubble and you're not attracting any numbers. You just have what you have. And don't get me wrong, it would take a long time for that fan base to completely go away. But so it's aging out.
Aaron's already changed the argument here. He's going after me because he knows I get numbers and he can't get numbers. No, Pat Dixon asked him a question. Anthony didn't bring it up. Anthony was just like, hey, we got to talk about Steel Toe, right? Pat brought it up.
So Aaron, again, he didn't know who you were.
Yes, he thought you were Rob Saul. He thought you worked with Bob Levy and were trying to get on Compound Media.
Well, he was trying to get on Compound Media, wasn't he?
He did get a show on Compound Media. E-Rock gave him and
episodes. He still didn't remember who the fuck you were.
He still didn't know.
Jesus Christ.
Out, and it's only going to go in the stagnant or down direction. It's not going to get bigger. I mean, Gavin's been canceled from everything. They're not going to let him on to promote his shit. You don't have any stroke anymore. Those days.
Your show is also dying on the vine, so I don't know what you think you're talking about. This guy, we just recently learned that when he got fired from radio and went over to Twitch 4 years ago, he was making $20,000 a month on Twitch.
So he knows about a show dying slowly.
Yes, and now he has to beg for the goal every day for sometimes 40, 50 minutes of the show in order to make his nut.
Okay.
Days are done. I respect what you did. But I don't owe anything.
Oh, he looks so
what
hurt.
was the second part of this? I mean, the balls on that has-been trying to enter this sector is appalling. Teach him a lesson, please. Teach him a lesson. I guess the lesson is fire more, bite less. There you go.
So Aaron's hot take here is that Anthony, he merged with Gavin's company, Censor.tv. And when that happened, they let just about everyone from Compound Media go. And Anthony was, by the end of it, paying more for the people who worked there than he should have been. And he's come out and admitted that. He's just a nice guy. He's a generous guy. And he wanted everyone to have their jobs and keep having fun on the network. But Gavin came in and said, no, we're not doing this. This isn't a charity. And just let everybody go. So Aaron is saying, well, you should have fired people more often. Meanwhile, Aaron's the guy who I talked to over a year ago who said, yeah, man, I just wanted to bring everybody over from the radio show and keep that going. That's why I have Corey Adam with me still and Johnny Crutches and April. And he had all this overhead. And so he was doing 2 shows a day every day. And I go, well, Aaron, what are you doing? Like, just make enough money for yourself. And then you start to build it and bring more people into it. And he's ragging on Anthony. And then the other part of that is saying bite less because Anthony had a domestic violence incident with Danny Brand that he got arrested for. This fucking guy to come out and say that after what we know about him in April, and I'll get more into that, but he headbutted his wife, April. And so the fact that he says that is crazy to me.
I found a third contestant for Head Games.
All right, let's go.
The expert.
I guess he was on Pat Dixon, shit talking Ricada. I haven't listened to it.
Then why are you commenting on that? I hate this too.
Yeah.
That's such a cop-out. He's been, well, I haven't even listened to it, but I'll just tell you, you should probably fire more and bite less.
Yeah, and whatever you do, everybody, don't go listen to it.
You're right, yeah. And it's not even worth listening to, just so you guys know.
Said he was, somebody wrote that it doesn't seem like Anthony's going to Gino's wedding. Are Anthony and Gino having a lover's quarrel now?
Do you know that? Are you just going to speculate on it now? And just assume that you know something because you heard a rumor?
Well, I bet you.
Can Anthony not?
I bet you Anthony's invite wasn't just completely taken back,
Yes, that's
whether he's going or not.
definitely true, yeah.
And Gino having a lover's quarrel now? Can Anthony not up any relationship? Opie, Bill Burr.
Opie's a terrible example. Opie is burned bridges with every single person he ever
wouldn't
worked
start
with.
there.
That's where he starts. Like, he's not even friends with Opie anymore. Nobody is. Literally nobody from the Opie and Anthony show is friends with Opie anymore.
Club Soda Kenny.
Club Soda Kenny works for Bill Burr. It's very different.
Gino. All the compound
You don't even know
people,
about Gino. You just heard that.
Danny Brand.
All the compound people, I've talked to them. They love Anthony.
I mean, look, from what we saw, Danny Brand seemed like a psychopath. But, you know, you brought the fox into the hen house, and then you bit the fox. JT10 with $10 says, LOL, great job. I love it. Here is some goal loot. Ant is a hack podcaster now. He is literally the next stuttering John. In fact, I would respect John more than Ant, since John isn't a coward like Anthony.
Do people not understand how this works? Anthony Kubi is the next stuttering John. Okay, good luck with that. Let's find all these clips of him drooling on himself.
This comment sounds like he wrote it.
It really does, yes. I just don't know how you figure that somehow this guy is now that pathetic because he said bad things about you. He was fine a month ago. Anthony was great. But now that Anthony's come out and been like, oh, yeah, this guy's a fucking joke. He's like, oh, yeah, he's a low-cow. Okay.
Wow. The John stuff has always been overplayed, and it's always been by people who needed John more than John needed them. I mean, John's a buffoon, but he doesn't deserve an entire community revolved around him. And then you look at the community that revolves around him, and it's like, it's so clear that, you know, what it is.
What's that?
It's a bunch of people more pathetic than John in their own lives, kind of circling around John because they need someone to point at and go, oh, that guy's a piece of shit.
Okay, well.
I mean, to me, he's never been that entertaining. Not even like on lol cow status. But a lot of these guys just saw easy numbers from it, and then they just kept exploiting it, and they got lazy. Yeah, Kevin Soundboard says, after seeing Cumia on Dixon, I don't think he's going to that wedding. What did he say about Gino that made you think he's not going to the wedding?
Why does he put his finger on his cheek like that? Melton always points this out. It's such an unnatural thing to just have to like shove your finger into your face. It's like he's constantly coping and massaging himself. But that whole thing, a lot of people have lost the thread on what the Dabbleverse is and what WATP is and how this all started. They're just like, oh, well, they're just pathetic losers who have to point at this guy because they don't want to be thought of as pathetic losers. And so they have to pretend like he's a pathetic loser. Like they think that was built out of jealousy or something. We like goofing on people who are fun to goof on. That's the thing that these people, and especially guys like Aaron, who now have all these people goofing on him, and there's a whole universe around him. Check out my latest episode, This Little Piggy, we just did on YouTube yesterday over on Patrick Melton's channel. We got an intro and a theme song now. It's going very well. I'm excited about it.
An intro and a theme song.
I was impressed. Those guys threw something together pretty quickly. That's great.
I'm just appalled at like so many. Like just the accusations towards Anthony when it's just so hypocritical.
Oh, it's so hypocritical.
Oh, and you bit the fox. Well, you fucking headbutted the hen, dude. You're a fucking asshole.
Yes.
It just bothers me.
But I love the cope that these people have. They're just like, well, they're just as big a loser. We're going to hear this from Rob Saw a little bit too. I got a lot of these people all going after each other. Jan Subak. Everyone's going after everyone right now. It's hilarious.
Chris Chan was right. It's the merge.
Yeah, it really is. And it's so funny. They're all saying like, yeah, well, everyone's just such this pathetic loser. And that's why everyone uses the word loser who is a loser for some reason. It's amazing how that works out. But you guys were at DabbleCon too. Mm-hmm. How many people did we hang out with who are enjoying celebrating goofing on John? They all are gainfully employed. They all are doing very well in life. They're enjoying themselves. These aren't a bunch of like people spurging out behind their keyboards like they want to make you think it is.
That's what I was thinking.
It's not at all.
I'm not surprised he would have this take, whether he's lying or not.
Right.
He doesn't seem like a fun or funny guy.
Right.
So he doesn't understand what's hilarious about Stuttering John.
Right.
At all.
He doesn't get it.
No.
Yeah.
And we have a blast doing this.
And remember when he went after Chad? Like, he got himself into the Dabbleverse by going after Chad.
Right.
And then Chad went back at him even harder. And he's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
I thought this was going to be fun.
Yeah, right. Like, he was the one who wanted to just, like, bully on someone.
Yeah, this looks like a good time.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
And then Chad went after John. Then you went after Chad.
Yeah. Oh, we got a lot of things brewing right now.
And then, hold on.
Yeah.
And then you went after Aaron. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ, what a circle jerk.
It really is a big circle jerk, and it keeps getting more and more fun from my perspective. But one more clip from this cope session.
Don't eat the
Easy
cracker.
Whitefish says, bite less, headbutt more like a goddamn professional.
So thankfully, a chatter's just like, yeah, why don't you headbutt your girl instead? And so let's see how Aaron addresses that.
Easy Whitefish says, bite less, headbutt more like a goddamn professional. I am happy that, like, basically the entire internet was like, dude, that headbutting shit is so bullshit. And there's like a few people who just perennially hate everything steel toe who are like, I have to believe it's true.
This is such gaslighting to his audience right here. He's like, I mean, most of the internet is just like, yeah, this definitely did not happen. He's just lying about that. Because you have to remember, this was a private text conversation between April, who he was married to at the time, and Aaron's ex-wife, Ashley. And April's like, yeah, he's not treating me well. He headbutted me during an argument. He was squeezing me so hard, I couldn't breathe. And now Aaron's trying to pretend like, well, yeah, I mean, she's my ex. Of course, she's going to make up crazy shit about me. No. Those text conversations happened while you were still married, long before the Nick Rekieta stuff, before you guys even met the Rekietas. And then it was later used in a court document for a restraining order. So it isn't something where it's like April's just trying to make up stories now to make him look bad. This was happening behind the scenes where she felt like she had a connection with his ex-wife to be able to talk about his abuse. And he's like, I mean, obviously that's fake. Why is that obvious? It seems like it's super real. I don't understand why it wouldn't be real. But
gaslighting's the right word.
That's the only thing he can do.
It's amazing, like the gymnastics he does in his brain to twist narratives.
Yes.
And I hate to use the term twist narratives, but that's what this motherfucker does.
It really is.
He's goddamn Aesop over here with the fables.
Who are these